Coming up next, we got The Crimson Witch, a novella that Koontz published in this year, Fantastic Stories, October 1970. It's pretty ancient. It was pretty difficult to get a hold of this. Kind of a nifty little old-fashioned magazine. It's got a couple little illustrations. Here's the, if you want to see, there's not a whole lot. But yeah, this is a totally silly and pointless story. It honestly felt like it was written like by a 13-year-old who was just writing like random adventure porn or something, like adventure stories like Hercules or He-Man, but with porn in it. Um, I don't know. From page one, it doesn't pass the, what is it called, the Bechdel test? That's how you say that. It starts off with this woman named Sharon, who was notably dressed in all crimson and red. That's why she's the Crimson Witch. She's coming home after getting raped. She's really angry that the man who assaulted her was immune to her magic and it didn't work on him, and thus she couldn't defend herself for the first time ever in her life. And yet, despite all this, she thinks to herself on page one, well, at least that guy was handsome. And I was reading this and I was like, oh, are you serious, Dean Koontz? This is embarrassingly bad. Again, like I said, this is written by a 13-year-old boy or something. It's so terrible. And then I kept picturing the witch as being just Melisandre from Game of Thrones, because her red, she's constantly wearing the same red dress. I don't know. But anyway, what's about this? My notes are about from page 158 of Catherine Ramsden's biography. No, this one here. I can't put the magazine up there because I think it'll fall over. Catherine Ramsden says, first published as a novella in Fantastic Stories, it went to Curtis Books for a paperback issue. It was completed in only 2 weeks to get rent money. The book was billed as science fantasy. Dean's poetry infatuated hero, the 21-year-old Jake Turnot, or Turno, he was the son of an ammunitions maker. Jake overdoses on a drug that casts him into a post-nuclear parallel universe. Science is unknown here, and the social hierarchies are medieval, literally. The rulers are those who possess psionic powers. Jake acquires a superstitious talking dragon named Caligula as his mount and companion, who informs him of a place in a hole in King Laylar's realm, which is where he's in, through which people can disappear. Jake suspects that this is a portal back to his actual world, and he will stop at nothing to find it. Along the way, he seduces Sharon, a witch. She tries to kill him, but then she relents because she falls instantly in love. She adds her own powers to his quest, and they manage to escape Lelar and return to Jake's world. Then the police arrest them, and the FBI wants to use Lelar's psionic powers against the Russians. Sharon, Jake, and Caligula return to their old world, and Jake perceives its superiority, saying at the end, it was a place of adventure for the sake of adventure, a place where a man's wits counted for a great deal, a place where magic was never taken for granted. But anyway, a totally pointless story, I'd say. As a reader, I was like, wow, this is just bad. It's one of those ones where I can see why Koontz wants to bury, or, have people forget some of his earlier work. But I thought I would review it all just for, completion's sake here. So see you all next time. I'll be doing Koontz's, actually I'll just throw it into this review because I think this is a brief review. We also have, from 1970, all of Dean Koontz's early short stories. Soft Come the Dragons. It's got these dragons with lasers on their eyes. It comes as an ace double from Dark of the Woods. I don't know why I skipped over it earlier. It's just because the notes order that I have it in. I don't got too much to say about this. All of it is very 60s. That's all I can say about it. It's so heavily 60s. The vibe of like how everything is described is so of the time. Almost embarrassingly. There's something vaguely psychedelic about all the descriptions, even though Koontz swears he's never tried drugs. But he also said he didn't write the 30 or so porn books that he seems to have written The Library of Congress says his name is on them, even though they're under pseudonyms. So I don't know. He says he wrote them for money under pseudonyms, but then he took that back later. So anyway, that's kind of pointless anyway. But the early versions of several of his later sci-fi novels comes from here, including A Darkness in My Soul, which I'm about to get to. Um, Page 279 of the Dean Koontz Companion by Ed Gorman, his friend, says the novella version of Darkness in My Soul is better than the novel. But I'll get to that in the next video.